Well, 10 years ago, at the age of only 22, my next guest, Ben Aldridge, had a life-changing accident. He actually fell off a cliff, and as he has told us, it was after drinking to excess. He joins us on the line right now. Good afternoon to you, Ben.
G'day. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, it's a great pleasure, Ben. Nice to talk to you as well. Things can happen in a split second, which is proof of what has actually happened to you at the time.
Yes, definitely. Look, you can never quite tell what's going to happen next in life, do you?
No, you certainly don't. We assume that nothing's ever going to change. When it did happen, the shock of it all would have been the worst part, I guess, to actually have to come to terms with.
Oh, look, for sure. I never imagined anything like this would ever happen. You know, at the age of 22, I've been in the army for a while and always worked physically with my body and couldn't imagine doing anything different.
Yeah, it's hard to ever imagine that you haven't got control over your body, isn't it? It's something that we don't even think of.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And as you said before, it can all just change in an instant.
Well, you managed to drop 30 feet. That was an horrific thing to happen. What were you doing up a cliff anyway, for goodness sake?
Well, I was drinking a lot at the time. I was struggling with post-traumatic stress post-deployment.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just taking lots of risks. And one thing that I used to do was urinate off the top of this cliff.
Oh, okay. I'll remember not to do that.
Yeah, that's it. I wouldn't recommend doing that.
No.
But yeah, no, so I've passed out and I've fallen forward and somehow managed to survive. It's a huge distance to fall. So I don't know, I should really be dead.
No, well, glad you're not, because, my gee, you've certainly taken on board a whole different career for yourself, haven't you? You're a professional speaker, you run workshops, you have a lot of concerns about things that you'd like for the public to hear about.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I suppose the main thing is, at the age of 22, I knew nothing about disability. I knew nothing about this side of our society at all. And I've had my eyes opened quite rudely and rapidly. So it's kind of passing the lessons on in a way that is less abrupt and less jarring to people.
The reality of it happening, and you're not the only one, of course, that this sort of situation has happened to, and they've had to face the reality of life being a little bit different. Did you suffer with depression at the start of having to deal with that?
Yeah, I did. And look, my mental health is an ongoing, concern. You know, it's something that you've got to constantly keep your eye on. But yeah, I definitely battle with depression and anxiety as well, especially around my loss of independence.
Yeah, and so the things that had to change for you initially, what were they, Ben, apart from having to realise that you're not going to get up and run around and do what you used to do and urinate off a cliff? So how did it fit with your family and, you know, living where you do and physiotherapy and all the treatment that you had to go through?
Yeah, look, I'd nearly spent 12 months in rehab and hospital all up. I'm at a level of injury which is quite a tricky one. I'm called a C5-6 quadriplegic, and I basically have control of 3 muscle groups in my body, and that's it. So I've got my forearms, my biceps, and my shoulders.
Oh, my goodness, that's incredible, isn't it? So how have you managed to have a normal life? When I say normal, I don't think our lives are normal. How have you managed?
I don't think anybody's life's normal.
No, it's absolutely true. Everyone's got a disability in some way or another.
That's exactly right. We're all good at some things, not so good at others. So, I mean, for me, it's been, I've had amazing support through Veterans Affairs. They've been amazing to me. And even more importantly, it's been my family. The support that I've gotten from them has been immense. So, you know, trying to work things out and trying to figure out how to do things, it's been a lot of blood, sweat and tears in there. And I haven't always gotten things right.
You have. You're on the right path, that's for sure. But what you did acknowledge, which you have mentioned to us here, is the fact that the people around you started to act a little differently towards you.
Yes, definitely. So it wasn't so much family, because they very rapidly realised that I was still exactly the same person I am. It's just I can't stand up.
Yeah.
But I've definitely found that how I was treated in the wider community was really different, and I never expected that. I never thought that would happen.
Was it in a patronising or a caring way, do you think, that people came across to you?
Oh, it came across to me as patronising, but I also recognise the fact that it's it comes from the best of intentions.
Yeah, I think so. That's
a lot of what my education's about, is saying to people, look, you know, we know that you're trying to do the right thing. I know that.
Yeah.
But here's a different way of going about it, which isn't going to get people's hackles up.
You're absolutely right. You know, it's like a lot of issues that these days are more talked about, and I think people that have a disability of any description whatsoever, whether it be mental health or physical problems or whatever, I think people are being highlighted more that do have disabilities. You've got people doing television programs, you've got them doing modelling, you've got them doing all mainstream things now, and you've broken down the barriers.
Yes, that's right. And I mean, the barriers are slowly being broken down. We're definitely getting a lot better at recognising and being inclusive of everyone.
Yeah.
You know, but there's still work to do. I mean, at the end of the day, that's why I have my own business.
Yeah, you go around speaking and sort of explaining to people, these are the things, if you come across somebody that's in a wheelchair or has a disability, that just take a while to think about what you're going to say. So there's a few things here you've listed, have you not, that create the barriers? Yeah. What was the number one that you used to get?
So I haven't actually got my notes in front of me.
I've got them. Okay, you ready?
There's a blackout here, so unfortunately I don't have them here.
Okay, well, you're going to remember this, of course, that people used to say to you, well, your life must suck since you've had your accident.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so that's always a fun one. So it's this automatic assumption that because your life's different and has changed, that it must really suck. But the truth is I live down south in a lovely little community called Peppermint Grove Beach.
Oh, beautiful.
And yeah, that's it. You know, it's 150 metres from the beach. I'm married to my best friend.
Oh.
We have a small child. I run my own business.
Good on you.
You know, my life is better now than it was before I had my accident.
That's good to hear, isn't it? That is really, and you probably could say that to everybody, couldn't you?
And I do. And
good on you.
If I could go back and change, you know, if time travel was real, I wouldn't actually change anything at all.
It's interesting to hear you say that. And I used to say to you, wow, you are so brave and inspirational. That gets under your skin a bit.
Yes, it does. It does. Look, at the end of the day, I am just an ordinary guy. I am one of many people who've achieved amazing things every day. You know, but I don't do them to be inspirational. I don't like to be congratulated for getting out of bed in the morning. You know, if you're going to congratulate me on my business achievements, for example.
Well, that's exactly what people are doing these days. It must be hard to be confined to a wheelchair is another one.
Yes, now that's interesting because I'm actually freed by my wheelchair. Without my wheelchair, I wouldn't be able to get out of bed. I'd be stuck there.
Yeah.
So wheelchairs and other mobility items are actually freedom modifiers, basically.
Yeah, good to be around, and they've improved a lot, haven't they, over the years?
They definitely have.
And they're surprised you've got a child. That's a bit cruel.
Yeah, look, there seems to be this idea that when you are in a wheelchair or when you have a major disability that you can't actually have a sexual relationship. So, you know, it's odd because anybody can have a sexual relationship. Sometimes you've just got to be a little bit more imaginative about it.
There you go. You write a book about that one.
Yes.
The other one too, this is just absolutely infuriating for others that see people take up the ACROD spot and they see you come in and they actually apologise to you, but they did park there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Especially, you know, my car, I've got it modified so I can drive it. And it's a side-loading vehicle, so I need the extra space next to the car to get in and out of the car. Now, if I park in a normal spot, I've got to run the risk of somebody blocking me in, or if I take up two spaces, I've gotten abused in the past for not being able to park properly.
Oh, yeah. There you go. They'll never learn, will they? Well, you're doing a great job out there, and I'm not going to patronise you by saying that you're inspirational. I wouldn't dare.
Thank you very much for having me on, though.
Look, it's great to speak to you, Ben. We'll send you a copy of this chat if that's okay with you. So
that would be absolutely amazing. Thank you.
And it's great to speak to you. Thank you very much for joining us today.
No, thank you. Have a good day.
Bye, Ben. Ben Aldridge joining us here on Curtin FM.